The echo in the empty room. They call me a billionaire now. Fancy titles, private jets, buildings with my name etched in glass and steel. People see the asterisk now. They see the polished finish, the curated image. But this story isn't about the shine. It's about the grit, the grind, the deafening silence of failure, and the quiet whisper that somehow kept me going when every rational thought screamed, "Stop." This is the truth, raw and unvarnished, about climbing from absolute zero. And the secret? Well, that comes at the end. But buckle up, because the journey is everything. Part 1. The foundation of dust, where zero feels like a weight. My zero wasn't just a starting point, it was a suffocating reality. Picture a cramped apartment where the damp smell never quite left the walls. My parents, incredible souls worn thin by relentless work, poured everything just to keep the lights on and cheap noodles on the table. I remember the sharp sting of wearing secondhand clothes that never quite fit right. The hollow feeling of watching friends go on vacations that might as well have been trips to the moon for us. Opportunity wasn't a ladder. It felt like a locked door. The world outside mirrored our struggle. This was the tail end of the Cold War anxiety, transitioning into the gritty early 90s recession. News talked about factory closures, layoffs, a shrinking middle class. It felt personal. It was personal. I saw the worry etched on my father's face every evening, the way my mother meticulously stretched every dollar. It wasn't just about having nothing. It was the crushing feeling that the system wasn't built for people like us to ever have anything. My education? Public schools bursting at the seams, teachers doing their best but overwhelmed. College? A distant dream whispered about, but never a tangible plan. My first jobs? Grinding, minimum wage slogs, flipping burgers until my hands burned, stocking shelves in the dead of night, feeling invisible. The dream wasn't wealth, it was simply stability. Not being one paycheck away from disaster. That felt like a mountain enough to climb. Part 2. The spark that almost drowned, finding purpose in the pitch black. The turning point wasn't a lightning bolt. It was more like a desperate groping for a match in a pitch black room. Working those dead-end jobs, I started noticing things. Small inefficiencies, tiny frustrations customers mumbled about, gaps in how things were done. Like noticing how long the lunch rush queue got because the register system was ancient, or how the late-night stock deliveries always seemed chaotic and wasteful. One freezing winter, delivering pizzas in a beat-up car with a heater that coughed more than warmed, I had a particularly bad run. Flat tire, late deliveries, angry customers, barely enough tip money for gas. Sitting in that freezing car, eating a cold, rejected pizza, the absurdity hit me. This couldn't be it. There had to be a better way, not just for me, but for everyone stuck in these inefficient, soul-crushing cycles. The spark was anger mixed with a flicker of possibility. It wasn't some grand vision to revolutionize an industry overnight. It was a tiny, stubborn thought. What if I could fix just one of these stupid little problems? The problem? Tracking inventory for small businesses was a nightmare of clipboards and missed items. My solution? A ridiculously simple software concept, born not from tech genius, but from sheer frustration and lived experience. I taught myself to code from library books and scavenge computer parts, fueled by instant noodles and the fear of going back to that freezing car. This wasn't passion yet, it was pure, desperate necessity. Failure wasn't an option because I had nothing to fail. This was my Hail Mary. The spark wasn't bright, it was fragile, constantly threatened by exhaustion and doubt, but it was mine. Part 3. The long, lonely grind, where sweat replaced sleep. They talk about the overnight success. Let me laugh bitterly. What came next was years of invisible toil. Picture this, a tiny windowless room doubling as an office bedroom, empty pizza boxes stacked like monuments to wasted time. The glow of a computer screen, my only constant companion, burning into my retinas long past midnight. My startup wasn't sleek offices or venture capital meetings. It was me, alone, coding relentlessly. Selling? That meant cold calling small business owners during my lunch breaks, which were skipped meals, facing endless rejections, hearing no more times than I could count. My pitch wasn't smooth, it was hesitant, fueled by caffeine shakes and raw belief in my tiny solution. Funding? Forget Silicon Valley millions. I maxed out credit cards with terrifying interest rates. I took on freelance coding gigs I hated just to pay the rent and keep my own dream alive. There were months where choosing between electricity and internet access was a real gut-wrenching decision. Sleep became a luxury. Relationships suffered. Some died entirely. The price felt brutal, and my health took a beating. The dot-com bubble burst around me, making everyone skeptical of anything tech-related. September 11th happened, plunging the world into uncertainty and freezing spending. It felt like the universe itself was conspiring against my little idea. Failure wasn't just a possibility, it was a constant, unwelcome roommate. There were moments sitting on that floor amid the clutter, utterly exhausted and broke, where quitting felt like the only sane option. The grind wasn't glamorous, it was soul-crushingly hard, isolating, and demanded every ounce of willpower I possessed, and then some. This was the forge. This is where the easy paths ended, and only the truly stubborn survived. Part 4. The tipping point. Luck favors the bloody-knuckled. Success, when it finally began to stir, didn't arrive with a marching band. It crept in on quiet feet. That one small business owner who took a chance, he saw value where others saw risk. He implemented my clunky software, and it worked. It saved him time, reduced his losses. He told another owner, then another. Slowly, painfully slowly, word of mouth started building. It wasn't viral, it was organic. Trust built one solved problem at a time. The real tipping point came from an unexpected place. I'd been relentlessly refining the software based on every single piece of feedback from those early brave customers. I wasn't building in an ivory tower, I was down in the trenches with them. Then a mid-sized distributor, drowning in inventory chaos and losing money, stumbled upon us almost by accident. They were desperate. We were cheap, because I barely paid myself, and effective. We took the chance, worked day and night customizing the solution for them. The result? Their losses turned into gains almost overnight. That case study, that real-world proof from a known player in a tough economy post 9/11, was the key that unlocked the door. Suddenly, the hesitant calls turned into inquiries. Small venture capitalists, burned by the bubble burst but looking for tangible results, took notice. Our first real funding round wasn't massive, but it was validation. It meant hiring a few desperately needed people, renting a tiny, real office with a window, and breathing just a little easier. Growth wasn't explosive. It was a steady, hard-earned climb. We focused relentlessly on solving real, painful problems for our customers, not chasing hype. We navigated the 2008 financial crisis by being essential, by proving our worth in the toughest times. Every step forward was earned with sweat, sleepless nights, and an unwavering focus on delivering value. The Billionaire moniker was still light years away, but survival had transformed into momentum. Part 5. The Summit and the Secret. What the balance sheet doesn't show. Reaching billionaire status wasn't a single moment. It was a slow dawning, realized more through financial reports and external valuations than any internal feeling of arrival. The money, the assets, the influence, it's surreal, even now. It buys freedom, security, the ability to make significant moves and support causes I believe in. It removes the primal fears of my youth. But here's the secret they never tell you, the one I discovered somewhere between the freezing pizza car and the boardroom. The money isn't the point. It truly isn't. The secret isn't a hidden strategy, a unique algorithm, or a get-rich-quick scheme. The secret is the fire you forge in the crucible of zero. It's the one yielding persistence that makes you get up after the 100th no. It's the deep empathy born from struggle, allowing you to see and solve real problems for real people. It's the resourcefulness honed by having nothing, forcing you to find ways where others see walls. It's the humility that comes from knowing rock bottom, keeping you grounded even when you're flying high. It's the why relentless focus on creating genuine value, not just extracting wealth. The billionaire tag is a byproduct, a measurement. The real wealth, the real success, is found in the journey itself. It's in the lessons learned in the dark, the resilience built through failure, the team you build and lift up with you, and the impact you make on the world. True fulfillment doesn't come from the number in your bank account. It comes from the purpose you pursue, the problems you solve, and the person you become in the process. Looking back, I wouldn't trade the struggle of zero for an easier start. That foundation of dust is where I learned everything that mattered. It forged the steel. So if you're starting from your own version of zero, know this: your struggle isn't your weakness, it's your hidden strength, your unique fuel. Embrace the grind, solve real problems with relentless focus, and never ever let the fire go out. The destination might surprise you, but the journey, that's where you find your real worth. That's the secret. Now go build your own story.